Hello, everybody. I'm Suzanne Hacker, and I am your vacation rental business coach with Welcoming Wow. And I am here with one of my clients, Jocelyn. And we are going to talk today about what it's like to own a vacation rental and also being a parent with an autistic child and traveling with them. So, Jocelyn, if you could just introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about what you do also in your regular day job, and then about your journey to becoming a vacation rental owner.
My name's Jocelyn Hallen. I'm a chiropractor in Wisconsin. My sister and I bought a place in Englewood, Florida, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a pool. We loved Englewood for kind of the quiet and solitude. We kind of just tried to figure out where we wanted to go from the busy places in Florida down to the quiet. And of course, with the quiet, it worked out great. We enjoy having our pool and kind of our little oasis because the kids don't have to go anywhere, especially being with the autistic child. I can send him outside to the caged pool area and not have to worry about it, as I would maybe have to worry about trying to occupy him in a different setting. So my autistic child is 11, my boy. And I also have a 13-year-old son. And we travel with my sister and her 2 kids of similar ages. And we've just learned to figure it out over the years.
And your place is called Englewood Turtles Oasis.
Yes,
so if anyone wants to find it, they should be able to find it on Airbnb, VRBO, and then also a direct booking website.
Yes.
Awesome. So when you first were traveling, before you had your own place to escape to, what was your maybe your biggest challenge in traveling with an autistic child?
Food was a big one.
Okay.
What and where are we going to eat? Because at the earlier stages, he was a very picky eater. I remember going to Chile and packing peanut butter jars because it was the one thing I knew he would eat.
Sure.
So that food was the primary issue. How and what are we going to eat without me having to pack everything in a suitcase and take along?
Okay. So did you, how do I put this? When you traveled before you got your own place, did you usually travel to the same place all the time? Were you more into trying new things? How did that work out for you?
We did travel quite a bit to different locations. The big trips were down to Chile, where my husband's family is from. Those are the big ones. And I usually traveled by myself with the kids. My husband
my gosh.
Went several times ahead of me.
Wow.
There was a couple times where he was with us and we just tried to figure it out. You pack your bags, your carry-ons full of everything that you could think of to occupy fingers. Sure. And he was a quiet child, so we didn't have to worry about screams and behavior, thankfully. But those are the long overnight flights. Even with a normal child, that's rough. He probably threw more days than my autistic one.
Cute. That's how long is the flight normally?
In total, it's 11 and a half hours. So you have a short flight to Miami, roughly, and then you have the long flight down to Santiago, Chile. Wow. We've done some car rides, not terrible. Sure. Again, you're packing your bags, your car full of food, things that you don't have to stop for. If we stopped, there was a lot of toast eating at the restaurants. We just did what we could where we could. I had personally practiced going to restaurants and trying to get him to sit and eat the restaurant food to, like I said, practice being in a scenario.
Nice. Okay. So, is there anything specific that you, as a parent, if you were going somewhere you'd never been before, is there anything specific that you're looking for in a rental or a hotel to help to accommodate your son?
Let's see, a TV.
Okay. TV's a
uh,
must, huh? And internet.
and internet at this point in life. And
Sure.
really, when he was younger, he had a tablet since he was about 4. So it
Yeah.
did occupy him quite well. So internet, Wi-Fi, a pool would be great because, again, it was something where we could easily go to and drain some energy. For, I guess, for my kiddo, again, he was so easy-ish moving around.
Sure.
It was more of like, how are we going to occupy him when we're in the place? So we went to places that involved the beach. It was a little hard to maybe get him to not go in the wavy waters to figure out that. Maybe having a life jacket at those locations would have been great. I can't remember if I've traveled with a life jacket before. I believe I tried, and my husband said, "Take it out of your backpack." uh,
Not happening.
yeah, we've done small little hotels, primarily with the family. We've stuck 6 of us into a 2 double bed scenario. So we've been all squished together, and we've just survived the small things. What would I look for? Probably just a safe environment. There was maybe better locking doors. I don't know. We
Yeah.
had to stop in Ecuador, and it was the funniest thing. I went downstairs for breakfast with my son, my oldest, to go get breakfast, and I left the supposed sleeping child with the supposed awake husband. And I'm not sure if he was 1.5 or 2 years old at the time, but he came downstairs with a manager in his diaper. And apparently my husband was sleeping and he was the awake one. He was just outside and figure out how to open the door. So that's in a hotel.
Yeah.
And I guess the little ones, if they reach the handles, they can get out.
Yeah. That's been one of the things too that's like top on my brain is the safety, especially the locks. And even in some cases, you can have alarms, on the doors and
Mhm.
windows. When my friend, called us late one night because her, at the time, 4-year-old autistic nonverbal child had somehow left the house and nobody saw,
Yeah.
and they had no clue where she was, and so that has always stuck in my brain. And fortunately they live in a small town. It was in the town they were living in at the time. The
Mhm.
police kind of knew where the little one belonged. She wanted to go to the beach, it's 9 o'clock
Yeah.
at night, but she wanted to go to the beach. So she went
Yep.
to the beach, and that's where the police found her. And I have my own vacation rental, and for me, the safety part all of a sudden came to my mind when, I have the app that lets me know every time the door is locked and unlocked on the vacation rental. And
Yes.
one time there was a family saying there was several children, and all of a sudden I'm getting this lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock. I'm like, oh, children are playing with the lock. So then I was like, you know what? I do not have sufficient locks or alarms on the doors to make sure that a child couldn't do exactly what your little one or my friend's little one could do. And then I was like, I gotta get another lock,
Yeah.
up top, something that's more safe and secure.
Right. That
Yeah.
was the one thing that I looked at when we bought our current house in Englewood is the patio doors have a lock at the bottom and a lock at the top. And not only for me, but families that have little ones, to make sure that they understand that they can keep that top door locked to prevent the small children from getting out, because that's the only barrier between the house and the pool. It is
Yeah.
easy opening door if they're not going to make sure that that upper latch is locked. So our children are older, but if we had little ones, that would be something that I would always be latched, so that I would make sure I'd be out there with them. So
Have you ever traveled with anything other than wanting to travel with a life jacket that other parents would be like, why are you bringing that along?
I'm sure I have. And I I know my husband laughed and he made me take the diapers out of the bag. I carried lots of diapers with me to Chile. Um, that particular trip, I was in the 8.9 earthquake in Chile and was thankful I had brought diapers along in my backpack. And no, sorry, the whole suitcase.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's crazy.
that was traveling with the 13-year-old. That was my first son. I was
Wow.
overabundant on that one, but that was just like an odd scenario that just happened to kind of work out.
Sure.
But as
Sure.
far as like, you take Play-Doh on the airplane.
Cute.
We've taken dry erase boards. What are we doing?
Cute.
I'm trying to think of what other massive things. I've learned to travel light, so I don't remember anything odd.
Now, is Play-Doh one of those sensory types of child toys or activities or whatever that really
No.
help autistic children? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if a vacation rental owner was like, hey, I want to make sure that I have a few extra, let's say, toys or activities for children that are autistic, what would you recommend?
I would probably do the Play-Doh. It's easy. It's gonna come out. It's not like that slime that gets dried and it's made of
Right.
glue. That's all
Right.
over my carpets. So,
Yeah.
but Play-Doh is easy. It dries up and flakes up. You can get that out of anything. It's relatively easy. You know, maybe some tactile stuff that if you can easily wash. A lot of those squishy toys. My kiddo liked them for the longest time. Let's see what else. Right now in my to bring down pile are magnetiles. So they're like puzzles, but they do something. At least for my kids, they like them. And we're into coloring now, so maybe crayons and coloring, but be careful. Some of those kids do like to eat the crayons, like mine.
And color on the walls.
Color on the walls. So that's a personal thing. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about whether I wanted to bring that in anyways, but
Yeah.
there's the magic water things where you color with water. It's a mat with a water brush. Those are that he liked those when we had them.
Cool. Okay.
Dry erase boards with the dry erase that doesn't really get on the wall. I don't think we didn't practice that.
You're like, I didn't try.
But like I said, if they're into writing and drawing and things, or something that you can pass back and forth, dry erase was fine. Play-Doh was tactile enough where we could keep him occupied. Some of his favorite things to do with the Play-Doh was actually to squash them on his cars, and now we have, a mirror image. What else did we do on the? I'm trying to think of what else we did on the planes even. Again, he liked staring out the window a lot, and we tried not to be on the videos on the plane for my kids. So
It's a good goal, huh?
we did. I tried. I mean, sometimes depending on the flight, you just let them be so you can survive.
Sure. Okay.
I'm sure I'm not the only parent that says it that way.
Right.
So,
Right. So we'll go back to you owning a vacation rental with your sister. And how long ago did you open that as a vacation rental?
June of 22. So we've only had it for less than 6 months.
And you bought it to be a vacation rental.
In part, we bought it because we had taken 4 vacations down to Florida in 2021.
Sure.
And we figured, why are we doing this without having a particular location and spend money on ourselves rather than the hotels?
Yeah. Good point.
So I went down there first. Then I brought my sister, and she agreed it was a very good location, very quiet, lots of shells to be found with the kids.
Nice.
So we did buy that and fixed it up relatively quickly. And the kids, when we moved in, were very big helpers with putting it all together.
So what kind of fixing up did you need to do on it before you listed it?
Well, thankfully, with the help of a handyman, there was patching the walls, patching cracks, lots of painting. Everything's got a new fresh coat of paint. Cleaning from head to toe. We did have the ducts cleaned. That's what I was thinking. The ducts are fresh and clean, like it's not 40 years old.
Right.
So anything that looked a little bit questionable or rickety or rusty has been refreshed. Almost every grate, anything almost you can see has been touched and replaced. Nice. Prior to buying it, the pool had been resurfaced, the new roof that survived the Hurricane Ian. And there was one more thing that was brand new as of 2021. So we were lucky to buy the house, and a lot of the pieces were brand new.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So has it been a good decision? Are you glad you bought it?
So far.
You're like, well, that's okay now.
Almost 5 hurricanes, so.
Oh my gosh.
So I know it'll stand the test of time.
Yeah. And right now, and we're recording this in actually December 1st of 2022, and you are currently booked though out for quite a ways. So people can't come and stay at your wonderful place until next summer, correct?
Correct.
Almost. That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So if you had advice for somebody else who was thinking about buying a house and having it as a vacation rental, what would be your biggest piece of advice for them?
You need to be able to enjoy it yourself first. For me, that's what we wanted. We wanted to have a place where we could go to and we enjoyed first.
Yeah.
Great for kids. It's not on the beach, but it's close enough to the beach where we can pack the car with a picnic and some stuff for the water and go. And we wanted to have our own kind of place to lay our head and enjoy our space by ourselves. And while we're not there, let the other families hopefully enjoy that too.
So is there anything that you would have done different if you could do it over again?
Well, if I had more money, I would have probably been closer to the beach.
Nice, because you can't walk there. How far of a drive is it?
You have to get in the car. But I guess that's, it's a top request. But, for our family, for what we wanted, it's great. Side note, it's a half-acre property. So to open the door and let the kids out and let them play and kick the soccer ball around and roam around. And there's a little swing in one of the trees. I hope I haven't quite seen it since the hurricane. Okay. So there's space for the family to just enjoy. And that's the primary reason that we bought it.
Sure. And you are pet friendly now, correct?
We are.
Do you limit it to certain size dogs, or is it more, based on their request?
We've tried to tackle this question. All I hope to do is expect that the dog owners are respectable back to us, and hopefully there's no damage. We're not limiting it at this time. No one has really shown us that we can't trust that factor right now. We do have some upcoming guests with some animals coming in. We've had our first bunny, and they were good. So
awesome.
Otherwise we've asked just like 2 dogs, preferably no cats, since there's couple of us have allergies, and sometimes that's hard to get out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just had a family with 3 dogs stay at the vacation rental here. And when they left, they were cleaner than a lot of the other guests have been. So they must have like cleaned up,
Right.
but it was good. Yeah. So tell me more about this bunny that came and stayed
Oh,
at your
well,
house.
they said the bunny was new to them. It was only like a week old with them. And so they had said they were going to keep the bunny in the cage. And whether they did or not, I didn't see any evidence that it was causing any problems. So
Okay.
I gave it some treats. I left it.
So have you had any like surprises in your vacation rental ownership journey so far?
Well, I guess our only surprise, and more to my sister than me, because I've just, being a chiropractor, you see lots of different people, and my sister works from home, so she sees herself and her kids, and she's a yoga instructor also, so she does see people, but that's her kind of her second life. But the way people use the place, we had one group of, I think we can only guess, maybe some early 20s, and they must have been getting ready for a wedding or a party or something. So they were outside cutting their hair and grooming themselves, and pulling some stuff outside. And it was a little hair raising to my sister, but I'm like, at the end of the day, everything was back in order and there was no damage. So that was the only little one right now. Okay. Okay, that's the only one.
So you and your sister co-own.
Correct.
So have you like separated the duties as far as managing the listing, anything like that? Or do you tend to do more of it? Does she? How do you work it?
We kind of trial and errored kind of our duties, kind of by where we kind of just, how do I say that? We found out that we both can't answer guests at the same time because we're counter telling them. So we have, at least when we start contacting a host, we have to still stick with, if I'm going to start talking, then I have to continue talking, and we can't go back and forth between the two of us. I have also tried to let her contact them. She's right next to her phone all day, so she's better able to do the immediate contacting. I tend to do more of the marketing and all kind of the background problems with Airbnb and VRBO and our website. My sister's become more of the administrative financial department, paying the bills, kind of any bill paying problems. She's handling that. When we came up with the hurricane, she was contacting a lot of the people to fix up the place. And that kind of became her duty. So we've kind of just found our spots based on our availability to the immediate need.
Okay. That's awesome.
So nothing's set in stone, though. We don't have processes and procedures in place for like how we both run those things. I think our daily lives, both with our kids and our forward businesses, that it takes precedence. So we just try to fit this into where we're comfortable, where we can fit our holes in our life. So.
I'm going to switch back now to the traveling for just a minute, and we'll end on this. If you were looking for a vacation rental to stay with your family, what would be your top must-have?
Definitely the Wi-Fi. I hate to say that, but it's kind of the truth. You need to be in there ready to go for when the kids are getting a little restless. the next, I don't know, the next top I think would be just availability to places.
Okay.
We've gone anywhere from a cabin in the woods with nothing, to, very busy downtown Barcelona, where I'm not quite sure I'm taking the kids yet, but that's in the back of my mind, is if I was to recreate that trip with my husband and I, how would I do it
Okay.
with the autistic 11-year-old?
That's awesome.
But that's probably the top is the Wi-Fi.
Sure.
Then from there, it's questionable. Like, do you need food? Do you need a kitchen?
Right.
Are you okay going out to the restaurants? Are you sleeping with your child? Sometimes that happens.
Right.
So do you need a bigger bed? Let's see. And again, safety, like,
Yeah.
sometimes you need that extra wall and the barrier and that hotel hallway to kind of prevent that going outside instantly.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's
Okay.
a simple request in some ways, but it's for us right now, it's probably the first.
Okay. Yeah. Has it become easier as your son has gotten older?
It has. But for my child, if he doesn't have his tablet, he goes inquisitively searching, and sometimes inquisitively searching leads to something he wants to palate, to chew on,
Okay.
to experience. So to kind of keep his brain occupied on whatever his tablet's got right now, kind of keeps him in less trouble
Okay.
than if he's wandering and finding things he's not supposed to get into.
Okay. That's good feedback. It's
Yeah.
good for owners to know as well, as they think about ways that they can make their own vacation rental a little bit more spectrum friendly for families.
Yes. And to that note, we did stay with a friend who had pool stuff. Great. I asked him to bring out his pool stuff. To my dismay, my orally fixated child was chewing on the foam mats. And
Okay.
if they were in my pool, I'd say, you know what? I got it, no problem. We've gone through foam noodles.
Okay.
But
Sure.
I owed him a mat. So
Like oopsies.
if the vacation rental owners are going to provide some things, you choose whether you own a foam noodle or a foam mat. Those things are expensive.
Okay.
And I guess understand if they're going to get destroyed.
Okay. It's good to
Otherwise, we
know.
have inflatables at our place as well as the foam, and those don't get bothered. But kids will be kids too. They'll jump on it and they pop. That's just a generic. But
Yeah.
just the autistic kids sometimes are orally fixated and they're going to chew on everything, and that's kind of why the Wi-Fi is so important, because I can keep them occupied in one spot for a while until I get the lay of the place.
Okay. That makes sense. And see if there's anything that you need to fix or take care of or lock up or move, cleaning products, things like that, that maybe an owner who just doesn't understand has left.
And each child is very different. So that's probably my primary.
Sure. No, it's good points. I like it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. And I'm sure it's going to be valuable to other owners as well as other parents who also have autistic children while they travel. So thank you.
Thank you. And you're welcome.